You know, every once in a while, an athlete comes along who is just so powerful, so physically overwhelming, that they don't just play their sport, they actually change it. They force entire leagues to rewrite the rules. Today, we're going to talk about a player who wasn't just a superstar, he was, and I mean this literally, a force of nature. And that player is, of course, Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, just get a load of these stats. We're talking 7'1", 325 pounds during his career. Shaq wasn't just another big guy. He was like a seismic event happening on the basketball court. His combination of size and pure power was something the NBA had never really seen before. And when I say his impact was huge, that's not some metaphor. It was literal. His power was a physical reality that the league itself and its actual equipment had to deal with. Yeah, so from the second he stepped onto a professional court, O'Neal's physical dominance wasn't just impressive, it was downright destructive. The NBA had to react, and they had to do it fast. Get this. This happened during his rookie season. Can you even imagine being so strong that you just tear down the hoop? The NBA had no choice but to physically reinforce its backboards, not just in one arena, but across the entire league, all because of the insane power of one guy's dunk. But here's the crazy part. It wasn't just about brute force. He mixed that incredible power with an agility that was just shocking for a man his size. His go-to move, the drop step, which he nicknamed the Black Tornado, was this brutal, lightning-quick spin combined with raw power that defenders, well, they just had no answer for it. It was completely unstoppable. And this force of nature, he let everyone know he was here right from the very beginning. He was drafted first overall by the Orlando Magic, and he didn't just join the league. He basically took it over. His impact was just immediate. He was Rookie of the Year, of course. He was the first rookie to start in the All-Star game since Michael Jordan. Think about that company. And by just his third season, he'd already dragged the young Orlando Magic franchise all the way to the NBA Finals. He was a certified phenom from day one. But, you know, even with all that amazing success on the court, the whole situation wasn't a perfect fit. O'Neal felt kind of held back by the smaller market, and that feeling really boiled over when a local paper ran a poll asking if he was worth a huge contract. Over 90% of the fans said no. That criticism really pushed him to look for a bigger stage. And that bigger stage, well, it was Los Angeles. His move to the Lakers was about to kick off one of the most dominant, and yeah, one of the most dramatic dynasties in the history of sports. So in LA, he teamed up with this young, unbelievably talented guard named Kobe Bryant. And on paper, it was the perfect basketball duo. You had Shaq's unstoppable power inside, just punishing defenses, while Kobe's killer skill took them apart from the outside. The result? It was historic. The duo led the Lakers to a three-peat. That's 3 straight NBA championships. And let's be absolutely clear, during this entire run, Shaq was the guy. He was the undisputed star, winning the Finals MVP award all 3 times. That year, 2000, was just the absolute peak of his dominance, winning the regular season MVP, the All-Star MVP, and the Finals MVP all in the same season. That's something only legends like Willis Reed and Michael Jordan have ever done. Defenses were so desperate they actually invented the hack-a-Shaq strategy. They would just intentionally foul him to send him to the free throw line, which was his only real weakness. That tells you everything. The only way to stop him was to literally break the rules. But even at the absolute height of their success, the dynasty started to crack from the inside. It was a classic clash of 2 massive personalities. Kobe, with his legendary work ethic, got frustrated with what he saw as Shaq just getting by on his natural talent. And Shaq, he felt disrespected by the younger star and the front office. The whole thing just became toxic. So when the Lakers dynasty finally and kinda inevitably blew up, O'Neal was traded. And this started a whole new chapter in his career. Shaq the champion journeyman, bouncing from team to team, but always trying to hunt down more championships. And he found success again pretty quickly in Miami, grabbing his 4th and final ring with a young Dwayne Wade. After that, he had a stop in Phoenix, where he actually shared an All-Star MVP with Kobe, a pretty cool moment. Then he tried to help LeBron James get a ring in Cleveland, and finally wrapped up his amazing career in Boston. But here's the thing about Shaq. His story is so much bigger than just basketball. To really get what makes him such an icon, you have to look at everything he's done off the court. I mean, he pulled off one of the best transitions from athlete to cultural force we've ever seen. The guy released a platinum rap album, for crying out loud. He tours the world as a DJ. He started movies. And now he's a super popular, award-winning analyst on Inside the NBA. And on top of all that, he's built a huge business empire. His business sense might actually be as dominant as his playing was. And his basketball legacy? Well, that's set in stone. He's a first-ballot Hall of Famer, and he was named to both the NBA's 50th and 75th anniversary teams. That's the league officially saying he is one of the absolute greatest players to ever live. No question. So ultimately, it all comes back to this. People will argue forever about who the greatest player of all time is. But there's a pretty strong consensus that when you're talking about pure, raw physical dominance, Shaq is really in a category all by himself. Which kind of leaves us with one final and much bigger question. Let's forget just basketball for a second. When you think about his size, his power, and the fact that he forced a major professional sports league to physically change its equipment just for him, you really have to ask yourself, was Shaquille O'Neal the single most dominant physical force in the entire history of sports?